Well, for more on this, I'm now joined by grime artist, writer and radio host Novar. Good to see you here in the studio. So we're hearing about a murder at a grime awards ceremony last night, and also we're hearing about that terrible murder linked to drill music. So you are a grime artist. What is the difference?
Well, I'm a hip-hop artist, if anything, actually, but I guess drill, grime, they're, in my opinion, all forms of hip-hop music in a sense. They come from the same environment, kind of.
But are they different in terms that drill music clearly has quite a bad name for itself, in fact?
It has a bad name for itself at the moment due to media coverage. But
Grime's
had that same coverage as well. Yeah,
grime encourage crime as well?
I don't think I ever do, no.
So why has drill music, let's talk about that first, got that sort of perception, and indeed even at government level there is concern?
Well, currently it's a music that's doing really well. It's what young people are into, it's something that the younger people are most connected with. And any of those forms of music get attacked. It's happened over and over again. It happened with hip-hop in LA many, many years ago. It happened with grime. That community is constantly attacked by the media.
Is it because it's reflecting the realities of urban life, which are, for so many, is clearly
it's definitely
tough?
It's definitely reflecting the realities. It's very clear that violence comes before the music, and that these environments were violent before music came along. We don't blame football players for violence at football games and talk about banning football from the television. That would be ridiculous.
What about, though, those music videos still being on YouTube? Are the police right in saying they should be taken down?
I don't generally believe that they are right in taking them down, because those musics are giving these young people a way out. We're talking about people who come from an environment where they have a volatile... The environment is volatile because the police harass them. Police harass and murder their friends where these people are from. Violence becomes a way of life and a way of survival. They're then suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and using this music to vent how they're feeling about what they're going through.
So it's not activism, it's more about expressing feelings?
Sometimes some of it's activism, but it's definitely about expressing your feeling. For me as an artist personally, like, I've got an album out now called Damaged, right? I made that album literally for my therapy because there was no other therapy available for me. I was in a really low place when I made it. And like now, I'm going to CBT from my GP, right? It took me ages to get that, and CBT is great, but we need psychodynamic and psychoanalytic therapy available as well.
Why did you think, why did you need help? Because of the environment that you have been brought up in, various pressures?
Well, with that album, it's something I was specifically going through, but it made me travel through my past. And yeah, growing up in a certain environment, like I grew up where I was involved with certain people and had guns put in my face and people trying to rob us.
So do you have a message for those who maybe going through similar experiences, and is there a message of hope? Is that why you've come out with all of this, is to help people?
Yeah, my message is to continue using music as much as you can. You know, use your music to vent. And my message is that, you know, I think these young people need more access to other types of therapy as well. But I think as we're talking about music, it needs to be encouraged to help these young people.
And to encourage peaceful living together. And
yeah, of course. I think that's what it does. Like, it already does that, you know?
And this grime music in particular, you say that they're both quite similar, but grime music seems to have quite a reputation in terms of it's one of the most exciting developments in music in the UK in the last
few years. Yeah. But it's been around for, it's been around for a long time, and it took this long. It's took many, many times of people shutting down grime events, blocking those artists, police trying to shut down their concerts, and they fought and fought. And now you've got artists like Stormzy who's managed to break through and show and be a shining example of positive role model, but they didn't want to let him do that. He had to force his way through. No label would sign him. He did it on his own.
And just finally, we obviously hear so much tension, particularly in black communities in London and urban areas. You're a white artist.
Yeah.
Do you bring communities together in some ways? In what you're doing?
This music definitely brings communities together, like, yeah, racially and all types of different communities, you know? Like, but it's definitely an issue that it comes from a black community when we're talking about why it's targeted, in my opinion.
Novar, we could talk more. We've run out of time. Thank you very much
for
joining us here.
Cool.